Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully, people can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Is my microphone on? Yes, it is. All right. Once again, we want to say happy Friday. This is your host, SUBOR Freeman, coming live from the Maima Goyah studio. We want to say thank you for your continued support. We want to say we appreciate every minute of your time. Every time you tune into the show, we are grateful. With that being said, at the same time, we will not mind if we're not getting the what we call the followers that will discourage us from doing or continue to speak up because we believe if change will come, we all owe it to ourselves to contribute to the growth and development of this world and to Liberia as large. And so tonight we want to say right off the bat, we want to say happy birthday to those who are celebrating a birthday in this month. We pray that God will bless you with long life, good health, peace. We also want to see if you are celebrating your birthdays and it fall on your wedding anniversary, we'll say double shout out to you and your special loved one. We say happy wedding anniversary and happy birthday to you and your special one. We pray that God will continue to bless the holy matrimony home with peace, love, understanding, and all that, and all the bless, all the good thing in your marriage. At the same time, we want to say to those who are bereaved, we want to take this time to extend our deeper condolences to you and your loved one. We pray that God Almighty will comfort you. God Almighty will console you during this difficult period of time during your bereavement. We want to let you know that we are thinking about you. We pray for you, and we hope that God will comfort you and console you and your family during this difficult time of bereavement. We we also want to say, as we all know, this coming Sunday is Mother Day, and so we want to take this time to wish all of the hard-working, beautiful mothers in the world. We say happy, blessed Mother Day. We want to take this time to say we appreciate you, we love you, we acknowledge your presence every minute of our life because without you, the world would be nowhere. And so your commitment, your dedication to your family is indescribable. And we cannot sit there and say we can put price on it. And when I say that, I say it from the bottom of my heart because with all my mom, which as you can see, this shoe is directly named after her, Maima Goyah, the person who was very dear and near to my heart. Today, you're the man you see today is all because of what my late mother instilled into me. And so I'm very grateful. And so we wish all the mothers around the world, we pray that God will continue to bless you as you steer the affairs of your family. If we have 10,000 tons right now, we'll use all 10,000 tons to tell God thank you for our mothers. So we just want to make sure that this coming Sunday, reach out to your mom. Those of you who got your parents alive, make the most out of it, enjoy it. You know, sometimes It mean that you gotta buy the biggest gift. Your wife, yes, I mean, the mere fact you can just do something simple, but let it be from the bottom of your heart to just show that sign of appreciation because I'm telling you, mothers are special. They are special. And so we want to take this time to make sure we acknowledge our mom and all other mothers around the world. Now, I posted something earlier on today, and that's what I wanted to expand on because I think now I want to start doing a show on maybe Monday. I'm still looking at my schedule based upon how my schedule will look. Then I need to start doing this show on Friday because I believe it is the best time to do the show. And so this is maybe one of our first show in a while on Friday. But I posted something today earlier on, and I said in that post, I said that on Facebook, the most people you find in the world, the most happy people you find in the world, it is not because they have everything that they want to make them happy. But what happy is they're grateful for what they have that God has given them, and they make the most out of it to make them happy. And beyond that, if you can see that, I went further and I talk about my own quote that I put on my own post. I said, Liberians, we need to start bad-mouthing our country and acknowledge that indeed, as people, we are blessed. The happiest people on this earth do not have the best of everything, but they make the best of what they have. And I decided to expand on the topic today, especially coming to the Mother Day weekends. And I think this is a perfect time to really talk about this because it coincides with what I already believe, describe what I posted today. You know, some of us, like I said, my mom, the late Maima Goyah, hailed from Bomi County. My grandfather came from Bomi. My mom never went to school. So just imagine SUBOR Freeman sitting here today in the United States of America and giving birth to me. And she said that and say, you know what? Based upon the condition and the circumstances, she could make all the excuses. But the fact that she tell God, thank you for this son. And she make the most out of the child that God gave us. And today, you can see it translate into who I am today and the little contributions that I am making towards the planet. And so, on my own post, I said, Liberians, we have to get to a place that will start appreciating our country, Liberia. Because we, in this habit, we are never grateful to God. And I think we have to stop that. We complain, we denigrate our country, we badmouth our country, we badmouth each other, and forgetting to know that all these things have effects. And so I thought it wise today that it is about time that we start to love our country. And no wonder why I'm guilty of this too. And because of the notion and the belief that we have about Liberia, that negativity, you can also see the effects. Currently, as I speak, if you talk to Liberian men, they have the worst things, the things to say about Liberian women. If you talk to Liberian women, they have the worst things to say about Liberian men. And so all of that tells me it is because of the mindset that we have created in our head towards our own nation. And so we don't see anything good in the country. And because of that reason, we continue to treat our country bad. And that is why with all the blessing, the natural resources, the landscape, that yet and still we're not enjoying Liberia like the way we're supposed to enjoy it because we don't see it as a blessing. And that is why you see all people finding ways and means to destroy the country because of that mindset. People don't take care of the country the way they're supposed to take care of the country. You go to the country, you see the dirt everywhere. And the fact remains that because they don't see the country as a blessing. And if you talk to almost everybody in the country right now, they will tell you, say, if they had the means and the opportunity, everybody would leave Liberia. And then the question that comes to mind when I was there a couple of weeks ago, if everybody leave from here, then we expect to take care of the country. And so, yes, some of us left because we're seeking opportunity. But at the same time, we believe that we can do we can do better. We can start to love our country. We can start to build our country. We can start to love each other. We can start to respect each other. And I think if we can do that, then I believe that our country will be better. And so tonight the message is simple. Part of the reason why we badmouth our country, people who badmouth people who badmouth other people is because number one, the fundamental purpose beyond badmouthing is to bring them down and make them feel bad by creating an anxious environment. And so you see, that's what happened. We make our country like to feel bad. We make each other to feel bad. We bring each other down. And all because we don't have what we call that self-confidence. We don't have that love. And so then we ask ourselves the question, what is it that Liberia is then progressing? So what I'm saying tonight, again, I put the link in the chat room. You can go in there, you can drop your comment, you can even come in if you want to. And like I always say on the show, the essence of Maima Goyah show is for us to dialogue, to talk, to discuss issues, things that are affecting or that is affecting us as people and nation. And I think this is one of the biggest things this morning. Sometimes when I sit down, when I'm getting ready for work, when I say my little prayers, I tell God, thank you for everything. And so I just start to think. And a lot of my thinking sometimes has to do with my own, so that I evaluate myself in the morning as I prepare and getting ready for work. And today's stuff just, sometimes just the things just pop in your head. And so my people, it is about time that we really pay attention to Liberia. It is time that we really pay attention to our nation. We can't continue to badmouth Liberia and expect us to get the most out of the country. We're fooling ourselves. And so we have to get out of that mindset. We have to. We have to see Liberia as a blessing. I still believe it is not just my opinion, but those are facts. Liberia is the best country in Africa. We are good people. The country is blessed. It's just that I don't know, for whatever reason, or for we stopped teaching civics in our school. Because part of the reason is we're not teaching our history. We allowing people, there's a difference between when we were growing up. When I mean we, like SUBOR Freeman, growing up in the 80s. This is an old man sitting right before you people, all right? Our tradition, our culture, what we learned in school, part of that was, even though sometimes that our history was not geared towards Liberia, something I deeply regret. But at the same time, we could look forward to a lot of good things about our nation. And I think today we lost that because we're not teaching the importance or educating our children about how blessed we are. And part of that, I believe, is the war effect. But we cannot allow ourselves to use that as an excuse. We have to start thinking outside of the box. I say all the time on the show, and this is truth, something that I learned from this country. Every time bad things happen to this nation, they call America, the people use it. They use that incident to make the country better. Either they will use that incident to create more jobs, they will use that incident to create more or as a learning experience, and they will make sure that thing that happen, it won't happen to them again. I'll give you an example. 2019, the most recent one, I don't want to go all the way back. I just want the one that is still fresh in our mind right now. COVID hit. Everything shut down in America. For the first time in my lifetime, I saw America shut down. Nobody can move anywhere. People got to work immediately and start to think outside the box. We understand this is a health crisis. People were dying by the day, by the minutes, by the hours. And so people had to stay apart. You can't go to the store. And so what happened? What happened in our Spain? Uber, Lyft, curbside pickup, those are all jobs that were created just within a span of time. And today, those jobs still exist. Think about, as a man who worked with the school district, before you make up your mind, people went from iPad to Chromebooks, Chromebook laptops. And teachers started teaching from homes. You talk about different apps and software. Before you make up your mind, Zoom were introduced, Google Meet, King, or StreamYard, Cisco, just name it. And what I did for the country, those things are still in existence. As I speak to you, I subscribe right now to StreamYard. Different app software were created. And so I say this to say, 40 years of devastation, what we can't overlook it, we're not going to downplay it. But at the same time now, we have to use and learn from that mistakes and see how best we can push our country forward. And I think we talk about policy, we want to see the education ministry design the curriculum. And part of that curriculum, people got to prioritize civics, teaching what I call citizenship. what it means to our kids. So I believe if we start to do that and instill the discipline into our children and make them to understand that as a citizen, you have a responsibility to your country. You must love your country. You must respect your country. You must protect your country. There are so many good things in the country that we can promote, including us including us that are outside of the country. You go to Kipamas. I just received some pictures today from Grand Cape County. Go and see the physical landscape. People travel from America here to go to Jamaica just for the beaches, just for the weather. People go to the Bahamas. I'm telling you, just because of the weather. And think about Liberia, people going to Puerto Rico. Think about it, Brazil. And Liberia got everything right there. Why you think we were outside? And today, starting tonight, I'm charging each and every one of us with the responsibility to start to talk to our peers, our friends that live in the country, to tell them the beauty of Liberia. Let us make the most out of what God bless us with. Because every time we badmouth Liberia, we've been very ungrateful to God. I believe if you take people from, and that's the reason why you see people continue to pull down into the country. People continue to pull down because they see something, they see how blessed the country is. That's why you see people from Asia, Africa, Europe, Middle East, they're going there. So if they can see it, why we can see it? And so my people, we have to wake up. Let's wake up. You know, the short time I stayed in Liberia, it was surprising to see some of the way people think about the country. And I told them every minute, every hour, every second that I had to talk to people, whenever they said that, I say, you know, Abby, just imagine if you play your part. It is what we call collective effort that will make our country better. Because if we start to promote our country and stop the badmouthing and start to profess positivity of our nation and start to tell people about our nation, it will attract. Don't look, I say this thing all the time. You'll be surprised. Since I started doing this show, some of the calls and some of the comments that I get, I'm telling you, from people from all over, and sometimes I'm very impressed. And I say to myself, wow, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. And so every time, God bless you. Every time, God bless you. Use it. Use it. Use it and say something good about Liberia. Don't just sit down there and badmouth the country. Don't do that. Don't do that. And so that is why we continue to encourage us. Don't say, oh, who will listen to me? No. Every minute, every second that you get, say something positive. Pray for our country. Because part of the reason why people who in leadership, who continue to treat the country like that is because they don't even love themselves. Don't forget, people who exploit in the country, it is because they don't love themselves. They have no sense of belonging. And that is why they take the country resources and invest into other countries. My people, as we celebrate the Mother's Day, let us use the time to reflect on our actions, on our behavior towards Mama Liberia. Mama Liberia. It is imperative that we treat our nation with respect. No wonder why people around the world do not treat us with respect. And because the fact that you don't say any good thing about yourself, about your country, nobody going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. And so this is something that we have to make sure we be intentional as we celebrate the Mother Day this coming Sunday. We have to be intentional. Let's start saying negative things about our country. I've been to the barber shops. I talk to people, and I hear some guys, now, ladies and gentlemen, say the same thing. I'm not a brand man anymore, I'm not a brand woman. You people, and sometimes like, who are you? You can now be American. Yeah, you blessed, maybe you got your green card, you're citizen, but you're not. You are a Liberian. So maybe if you just sit down and say, oh, and people say a lot. And I know sometimes they say all the frustration. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to just kick the can down the road. Instead of picking up the can, you kick it down the road. Because everybody feel like they are not part of the problem. It is not my responsibility. Even when you're working places that you work with Liberians, if you meet a Liberian there, a lot of them they're not even welcoming because they don't even want to be identified. And we see that translate to our children that are born in this country. I don't know what people, what I'm saying, I'm the only one experiencing it, but our children, 9 out of 10 times, they don't even want to be part, they didn't even want people to know that they're from Liberia. I work with a school district, I work with a school that I've been there for I don't know how long. Children, sometimes aspire from the way they thought you can see. But they don't even want you to know. They don't even want people to know where they're from. They don't, they're not pride. They're not pride of the ancestor. It is because the fact that we are not instilling that discipline into them. How many of us be proud of where you're from? And because they hear us bad-mouthing our country, they hear us bad-mouthing each other. Husband and wife in the house, and they say the worst thing about each other. So my people, this type of behavior, this type of negativity, we have to stop it. If the bro get better, we have to. We lose what I call our identity. Look, culturally, when I went to Liberia, I went back to see my own village. I went to Tori, Vanis Goyah. And you get to the village, it's completely different. People have forgotten. And I spoke to the town chair about this. I said, oh, you are telling me nowadays they don't what they call play, the traditional play, where you got the salsa and this is something that the Goyah people do a lot. And the man was telling me they play music and he said, oh, this time. And I told you, I say, from the time I was small boy, I used to come to this place. You are always here. You know the tradition. You went to the Portland Society. And he said, tell me what is happening. We're losing these things. You people should be able to teach. That's what we saw the people doing, and we follow it. It is all because we're trying to be something different that we are not. And so I can see our culture disappearing from our own eyes. And this is scary, and I hope and pray that Rescue One will see this and they will prioritize this and make sure that we go back to our culture. We have a culture. And that's why I talk about civics. We need curriculum that will put Liberia first. We got a very rich history, but we're not even telling the history. We study about America, we study about Europe, we study about other countries, and we're forgetting about our own history. We have to promote our tradition. It's saddening me that people going after the Sunday society, the poor and the Sunday. What people know about it? Because you know why? People now that are heading the various institutions have been compromised. The other day I was talking to a friend of mine from Liberia, and you were telling me, and it sounded so funny to me. You were telling me something, and you say, I said, where the person from? You're telling me about a friend. He said, they're from Lofa. But he said, they didn't born, and they put a boy in Lofa, and they put a boy in Monrovia, yeah, because, and I said, what you mean by that? He said, because they got no discipline. Because, and I could understand where you're coming from, that culture and that traditional education that people receive. And I keep saying it, the lack of that, and that's why we are misplaced. You find one of the highest divorce rate in America yet is in the Liberian community. People don't know how to treat their husband. People don't know how to treat their wife. These are things culturally that teach us. A lot of time people who work with me for over 10, 15 years, they will tell you, it's very hard for me to use profanity. And part of that reason is, at the time when you go to Goyah's town, you can't fight, you can't share blood, you can't curse. And you see, when you're growing up in that type of environment, then you understand that it becomes part of you now. Culturally, it's something that you, and so because back then I remember if you curse or you fight or you share blood, it was against the law, the tradition, and your people got to stand strong. And so people who know me, very, very hard for me to use profanity. I don't swear that easily. Because where I grew up, is not something when I went back to Todi, it's something that consistently you have to watch your mouth, what you say. Today, it no longer exists. Part of it is what we call culture and tradition. That's what it teaches. And today, everything in Liberia has been teared down by people from the outside world, people from the West. Because now they're telling you to change your lifestyle. And what happened? Look at our kids. Look at our kids. They lost. Drugs is taking over the country. When we were growing up, you couldn't be like 12, 13, 14 and get involved in a men's business. No way. You got to be at least above 18 or 20 something. Because that discipline was instilled into us. You can't do it. But look at teenage practices right now in the country. Look at the prostitution rate. Look at drugs and alcohol. Children at the age of 12. Look at the children right now taking what you call cooch. It is all because of bad-mouthing. We not appreciate it from where we're from, what we were taught. We're going to destroy it. We're not even grateful. So even if you take everything from America and carry to Liberia, as long as we don't see that as a blessing, we'll still complain, we'll still bad-mouth Liberia. The only way that will change until we realize that how blessed we are. And the more we do that, the more we profess those things, the more God will bless us, the more God will open doors. So here we are. Every day, every minute, we can see nothing good about the country. And so I hope, it is my prayer, spread the video. We'll continue to talk. Nothing will stop us from talking. Nothing will stop us from talking. Thank you, Devoki. I say I appreciate it. Edwina Bodo-Sharp, thank you. Cynthia Davis, thank you. And so we have to get to the place now that we prioritize. Devoki said someday you have to come here so we can talk. We have to understand how blessed we are. And so I just wanted to make sure I get this thing off my chest because I think we got to change. It got to start now as we celebrate our Mother's Day coming Mother's Day, because I'm telling you, you know, just imagine Dr. Morris Goyah. I just want to say congratulations. I'm very, very proud of your accomplishment. I comment on your post. Here's what we're talking about: education. We need to use our education wisely. So I'm very proud of you, brother. You know, and so we have to be proud where we're from. So as we prepare to celebrate Mother's Day, let us take a step back and reflect. It was just easier for some of our man to say, yeah, I'm not ready. Or the country will mother me if I born it. How am I supposed to raise a child? There were so many excuses to come in. But our man then took us. I said my man never went to school. But every one of her children went to school, including me. What yet? I'm the last of my mom. Every one of us. My people, let's start bad-mouthing our country. It is about time that we cherish Liberia. We cherish, we love each other. You know, none of us are perfect. You know, we spend so much time bringing the country down, bringing each other down. You know, I wonder if we're just using those times to prop each other up. And you see the manifestation in America, the country that Liberia suffer for, in Minnesota, where the one country now that everywhere you go is a standard that they measure. In fact, they are the face of the immigrant community in Minnesota. They are the face. Somalia, they are the face. It is because they carry themselves with respect. They don't talk down on their country. But just imagine what Liberia did for this country. And because the lack of love for the country and the lack of love for each other, to work together to make ourselves better, today, we're not even recognized in Minnesota, the state of Minnesota. Before I say the entire America. History there. Are we writing the history? Are we teaching the history? Are we taking time to tell our co-workers, our friends about the role that Liberia played in creating the United Nations? Liberia stood by America every step of the way. It is because people don't know the histories. Maybe if we start telling the history to our children that are born here, then they can now start to build on it and educate their friends. And even doing their how you call it, in school, they can use those times to highlight important things that Liberia contributed towards this country here. And before you make up your mind, then people get to understand the importance of Liberia. So every second, every minute that we get, we don't use it wisely to promote the country, but we destroy the country. And because we do that, we become laughing stock and reflect on us as community. Just imagine if we were taking those time to really teach our children about our culture, our tradition, and just telling the history of how beautiful Liberia is, the role that Liberia played in establishing the United Nations, the role that Liberia played when it came to America. World War I, World War II, the airport, Broward International Airport, was built. Freeport of Monrovia, they have VOA over there. It was like a transitional station where planes were taking off from there, going and coming and refueling. Those are facts. But how many times do we take, tell me, how many times we try to explain the contribution that this nation has, Liberia have made to the world? The only thing we say, we just say the worst thing about our country. The worst thing that all we can say about the country. And so our children get so tired with the negativity, and that is why they refuse to identify. That's why they refuse. The children are born here. I'm telling you, if anybody says I'm lying, come and prove me wrong if you never experience it. In fact, sometimes the children make fun of our accent. They say, no, man, I'll beg you. We want you to come to my school. Because they're now pride. And so now the children feel that they are Americans. They're not. All because we badmouth, we put our country down, We badmouth each other, we put each other down. And I don't know. I don't know. And then we sit, we expect Liberia. If you just telling your child or the people around you that everything is not good, it's not good, eventually they're going to believe it. Eventually they're going to believe it. And that is what we are faced with today. The sad thing is the people that we have are leaders. I don't think they know any better when it comes to loving your country, when it comes to doing the right thing, because you know what? Again, I always say, I'm going to say, our generation is failing Liberia big time. Our generation is failing Liberia at every level. And because we agree that the war king, yes, it had significant impact, we agree. But because I've seen badmouthing thing, it have taken root. And so even when people get into leadership, they're not thinking how to make the difference in the country. What can I do to transform lives? Like I always say on the show, success, nobody against success. That's why we all go to school. That's why we all work hard, because we want to live better. But legacy is what matter. Legacy is what matter. We should start thinking, what can I do? What can I do after God have called me? How I want to be remembered. And so if we can get people within leadership to start to think that way, then you will take it upon yourself, instead of just stealing and enriching yourself, you will start to find ways to transfer. Because I'm telling you, if you can build an institution, you're good. You're good. Because when people start to understand the impact, even when you're dead and gone, that legacy live forever. And that person will continue to impact the next generation. But I think part of the reason why people don't see Liberia like that, and it is not their business, is because the negativity has taken root. It has taken root. And so now people don't see any good in the country. In fact, they feel that the country can never get better. And so the mindset is, I'm just going in to get what I can get and get out. This have to stop. You really got to stop. I'm telling you, it is pathetic. It is unacceptable. We're not going to allow this type of behavior to continue. And that's why we'll continue to use our voice. And so we're going to look at the headlines in today's newspaper, and we're going to discuss some of the things that I saw, direct correlation to what I'm discussing right now. Because I'm telling you, we giving birth means risking death. Look at the headline. Look at this. And today, the segment of this paper here is strictly brought by Samuel Bingo. This is Samuel Bingo ideas. So every time we get to here, we make sure that we make sure that we make reference to the brother, because this is one of the brother that give us a lot of good ideas. This is one of the brother that watch the show religiously. Here, my man Mahmoud. And so we're going to look at the headlines, and then we're going to look at the headlines. But the fact remains that you see some of the hairline here, and sometimes it's just like, wow, wow. That's all I can see. That is all I can see. Because I'm telling you, sometimes my mother, I don't even know what to say. I tell you the truth. Sometimes I just don't know what to say. Just a minute, my people are trying to get somebody. But we're going to look at the hairlines, and then from there we'll call it a day. And so just imagine, see this hairline. Just imagine. In rural areas, giving birth means you risking death. And Simon Bingo talked about this. He wanted me to talk about this because this is something that really touched him. In Norristown, Addington, the physical challenges of pregnancies are difficult for women everywhere, but in rural Liberia, pregnancy is dangerous. Just imagine these are things, and you go to the country, you go to Liberia, in Monrovia, before you talk about rural part of the country, the healthcare systems completely down. And the question remains, people that are in power don't even, it's so sad. It is all because, like I said, bad mouthing, negativity. They don't look at the country as anything. People ain't care. People ain't care. And so now, having kids, they're telling you that it's good, but just remember, it's a death trap right now. Because you never know what will happen. You never know. Legacy of resilience, Liberia and Barbados, genealogy, tracing on earth, share history. Bridgetown for Dr. Shantae Maroon Knight, Minister of Culture in the office of the Barbados Prime Minister. The strong tie between Liberia and Barbados bears significant historical importance that should never be allowed to fizzle. And when you see the type of thing, it just reference to what I'm saying. People don't know. People don't even know the role that Liberia play around the world. Even when it came to this in the 60s, from the 50s to the 60s, when the civil rights movement was really in full gear, Liberia was a safe haven where sometimes people retreat for a month or two and come right back. So I don't know if we're telling our history to people enough that even during the civil rights movement in this country, Liberia were involved. So we pass by all of this, and the only thing we see all the worst thing about our country. All the good things. It's sad. And we only care about ourselves. Liberia, the judiciary marginalized in budgetary allotment. Chief Justice Yone alarmed over discrepancy. Chief Justice Yone has expressed concern over why she describes as an imposed budget allocation for the judiciary branch of government. According to her, while the executive and the legislative branches enjoy satisfactory budget allocation, the judiciary has been marginalized in the process. That's the only time we hear people talk when the justice system needs to be overhauled. The whole country. And part of that, maybe what the Chief Justice is saying is true. Maybe justices are not getting paid correctly. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully somebody can speak to that. But these are some of the things that we're talking about. Because if we truly care about each other, then we'll distribute the wealth. That everybody will benefit. And when people feel part of something, when people know that they invest interest in something, they tend to look at it different. And so we can't allow the few people who hijack this country to continue to put the country in the wrong directions. That is why we all must get involved. They want to say, where is it? 100 days of Job Manuel We Have Voices, Joseph Human Poakai. They say view from all walks of life. There's a good one. President Joseph Poakai last week, clock, 100 days in office, bragging of undertaking massive developments during the period, including undertaking major road corridors project totaling about 783.5 kilometers in Bon, Lofa Bombing, Bapo de River G, Grand Basso, Sound of Meriden, and Grand Group County, respectively. President Weah also said his administration has made strides in meeting targets in education during his regime 100 days. However, opinions are divided as some Liberians believe President Poakai, predecessor George Weah, achieved a lot compared to Poakai. You know, that's another argument that can be made, because where George Weah inherited compared to where Poakai inherited, it left for you which part of the political spectrum you find yourself, or how you assessing things, it left with you. But you know, I like the fact that they talk to people across the nation, and people believe that George Weah had a better 100 days than Joseph Poakai. But I will say this. The race is down to the swift, but he that endures to the end. So let's see. That's what I would say to that. So, you know, it's okay to start off fast, but how you finish is the one that matters. They want to say, Liberia, we are Royal Communication in goes bankrupt. Aggrieved employees stage go slow action over far more unpaid salaries. Aggrieved employees of the Royal Communication Incorporated, RCR, owned by former President George Manuel Weah, have staged a go slow action in demand for the payment of their nearly 5 months salary arrear owed them by the management. And so hopefully that's something that can be resolved. But this is your headline for Friday. This is what is unfolding in Liberia as we speak. Thank you, Pastor Hammond. We appreciate you. It has a bad effect just by bad-mouthing a person or institution or government. It has a negative result. Exactly, Pastor Hammond. We have to graduate from that stage and try to really take Liberia. Look, our country is so blessed. I don't know we know that, but if you don't know that, let me say this to you. The reason why you see all those people pulling in your country, it is because your country is blessed. And people leave with nothing to go to Liberia and get rich. And we sit and we complain and we condemn, but we're doing nothing. So the question remains to each and every one of us: what type of people are we striving to be? What kind of Liberians are we striving to be? Are we going to be somebody that gains social control, social power control, and confidence by creating fear around Liberia? Are we the type of people that continue are we going to be the people that will continue to create fear, palm up the country, say all the negative things about our country, palm up each other, disrespect each other? Or starting today, Friday, the 10th month, the 10 days of May, the 10 days of May, are we going to say, starting from today's date, I'm going to be what I call ambassador of Liberia. I have to start looking at my country differently. I have to start saying things about my country differently. Even when I'm upset and I'm disappointed, I have to understand that I am part of the problem. And therefore, I have to find a way to be part of the solutions. I cannot exclude myself and think somebody else will solve it. We have to make that commitment. We have to be intentional about our commitment. And so part of that will start with the churches. But I hope the Ministry of Education, and the last time I said something, we have to follow through when we say something on the show. We're going to start assessing the first 100 days of all the ministries. In the 400 days, not just we want to see individually what are these people doing, because we have to know our curriculum right now, and that curriculum have to be something that we have to prioritize what we teach to our children. We have to go back to the drawing board. We're not America. We cannot look. Don't get me wrong. We appreciate everything about this country, but the support system, the way this country was built, you can't just take something and just carry it to your own place. No, it does not work like that. It does not work like that. Because you're talking about the greatest country on planet Earth, America, that got all of the resources, all the money. In a school, America got social workers, they got counselors, they got foster homes, they got group homes. They got so many resources. So we have to design our own curriculum around us. Things that will make our, look, first thing first, let's go back and start to teach Liberia history. Our history is so rich. We can talk about slavery, the contribution that Liberia played in fighting slavery, the contribution that Liberia made. Today, you see the whole of Africa got independent, especially West Africa. Remember, we were the first independent country. Ghana and got independent in the 60s. Nigeria then. Guinea then. So remember now, we were muscling, were involved in negotiation, we were fighting. I'm telling Israel. All these things we have to start putting it into practice. Teach our children the role that Liberia play and how important and strategic Liberia is to the rest of the world. That history is there. It is there. And for those of us that are out of Liberia, we have to read more, do some research. It's there. And some of the oral history our parents told us is there. And we can start now to promote and say these things about Liberia. The next time I go back to Liberia, Dr. Marshall and myself had a discussion, but I got to Liberia, transportation, and besides that, I just couldn't make it with it. I hope things will get better because we'll find a way. Look at the island. Look at the island right there, the island where the slave landed. Those are things that a lot of people don't even know. And we're not even explaining or taking our time to educate people about the effort, the contributions that the country made. We so consumed in saying all the bad thing about our nation. And so the time is 6:02. Once again, we want to say thanks to each and every one of you as we are gearing up for Mother Day. Once again, we want to say happy Mother Days to all our beautiful moms, our sisters, our aunties, grandma, nieces, you name it. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We pray that God will bless you with long life, good health, prosperity. Let's remember, starting today, each and every one of us must be ambassador for our nation. We must carry ourselves accordingly, we must conduct ourselves accordingly, and most importantly, we should be able to educate people about our nation, Liberia, and the meaningful roles that they play to the formation of the United Nations. And just don't forget Israel. Look, I'm telling you, there are just so many things that Liberia have done. And today, the only thing people know Liberia for is the 14 years of civil war that went there. You're talking about over 175 years. Take 14 from there and see the contributions across the world, from Africa to Europe to America. That's it. The little nation called Liberia have contributed to wars. We have to look at the glass full, not half full. We cannot bury our country and expect somebody to resurrect our nation. And so tonight, we want to take this time to say thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. We appreciate your commitment, your encouragement, your love, your time. We can pay you back. Only God will be able to pay you back. And so, with that being said, we just want to use the time to say you have a wonderful, blessed Mother Day. Celebrate. Look, you don't have to have millions. You don't have to have the more expensive gift. It's just the fact to tell your mothers how you appreciate them, how you love them, and you cherish them. Once again, this is your boy, SUBOR Freeman, saying so long from the members of Goyah studio. You have a pleasant weekend and a very good Mother Day celebration. Good night, everybody. Stay blessed.